Selling your business is a process, not an event. Why is that? It's because it's a very involved, orchestrated process that requires a lot of people, a lot of thinking, a lot of preparation, a lot of documentation, and quite frankly, a lot of time. It doesn't happen quickly. Now, for some of you, you got an email from a private equity firm or maybe a strategic partner or a competitor in the market that says, I want to buy your business. And you're thinking, great, send me an offer and let's get it going. But the truth of the matter is, once you get into the process, it's going to extend. You're going to start negotiating. You're going to start speaking to their team. They're going to speak to your team. Attorneys get involved. CPAs get involved. And again, the whole process extends. So what I wanted to do on this video is talk a little bit about the materials that you need, the process, the due diligence process, things that you can do to give yourself somewhat of a checklist to make sure that you're working on those things now. It's best to have everything prepared and organized in folders and files and make sure your team is dialed and prepared so that whenever the time comes for you to sell, you can expedite this. Now, I spent years in the documentation process doing financial models, market research, projections, analysis, building due diligence folders. I can tell you firsthand, it takes a long time. And even when I have well-meaning clients, they're busy. I understand that my clients are busy. They're running businesses. They're putting out fires of their own. They don't have time to just stop and focus purely on the due diligence. That's why having a checklist is so important. So I want to cover 5 areas of due diligence, 5 parts of your checklist that you can start to organize. And this might take you weeks, in some cases, maybe even months. And it's not that the information isn't there. It's just it might be in a lot of different places. For example, getting your old tax returns or putting together an org chart. You might have some material that you need to build. You might have some materials that you need to revise and revamp. You might have some very outdated information, maybe even some old looking information or information that doesn't make your company look so great on paper. Remember, it's still a negotiation process. So selling your business, you still want to present your best foot forward. You want to make sure that you're the belle of the ball, because the better you look, the more leverage you have in the negotiation process. So the first area is your corporate structure and general matters. This is essentially documentation, bylaws, your organization chart, your list of shareholders, stock option agreements, operating agreements, any warranties you have out there. This is just your corporate entity, your corporate structure, making sure everything's dialed nice and tidy and clean in your folder and you know how to present it when anyone asks questions. The next piece is contracts. So making sure that you have a good list of suppliers, vendors, partners, extended contracts, accounts receivables, accounts payables. Make sure your finance is dialed. Settlement agreements, non-compete agreements, maybe with some past employees or past partners, franchising agreements, employee agreements. Just think of everything in the contractual stage. So you want to get all of your contracts dialed. Now, a lot of companies just have these contracts all over the place. They're buried in emails, buried in old folders. Maybe they're just printed and not scanned in a digital format. So when you think about this section, the second piece of just contracts, build a folder, put every imaginable valuable contract that's still in existence, and even past contracts, even contracts that have canceled or ended, just for reference of what the business has done in the past. It's very valuable. The third piece is your intellectual property. So patents, copyrights, trademarks, domain names, trade secrets, IP, anything to do with your proprietary information. So this, again, goes back to anything that is unique to you and your business, your methodologies, your approaches, your programs, your products, anything that is truly, truly unique that was built inside of your organization, your knowledge bank. Maybe you have training videos for internal and external uses. Just think about everything that your business has ever built from scratch that no one else can replicate, because that is very, very valuable to the marketplace. So that would be your intellectual property section. That's the third piece. The fourth piece would be your material assets. So if you're a physical business and you have equipment, machinery, leases, land, property, anything in that space, a building, make a list of all that. Technology, yes, this does apply towards tech, but a lot of times tech companies have more IP than physical assets. In the early days, selling smaller businesses, it'd be things down to just inventory on the shelf, or fixtures, equipment, laptops, cash registers. Just make an inventory list of everything that's physical inside the business that would be sold in a transaction, because there is additional value there. And that is specifically if it applies to more of your physical retail brick and mortar style businesses. The last piece is financial. So this is taxes, your federal and state taxes, corporate taxes, any audits that the company has gone through. You definitely want to make sure you have your profit and loss, your cash flow, and your balance sheet's up to date, you're most likely going to want to go back about 3 or 4 years. Any buying company will look typically about 3 years, and they're also going to want to look forward about 2-3 years as well for projections. And from there, there's going to be an assessment and analysis evaluation built on top of other valuation methods. We'll get into that video later, but the financial section is to make sure we know that there's no skeletons in the closet, to make sure everything is dialed, up to speed, and up to date. So to recap, these are just 5 simple areas of due diligence. It's your corporate structure and your general matters, things that have anything to do with the overall organization, shareholder agreements, operating agreements, things of that nature. The second will be your contracts, all contracts, vendors, suppliers, employees, intellectual property, your IP, anything that's unique assets in the business. The fourth would be material assets, anything physical, inventory, things of that nature. And then the fifth piece, the final piece here, would be financial, taxes, liens, federal, state, and then you want to make sure you have a good documentation of your profit and loss, cash flow, balance sheet. So put those 5 pieces together, build folders for each one of them, and get to work and start organizing and coordinating all of your materials so that whenever the time due diligence comes, you can just hand over access to a Dropbox or a Google Drive folder and all of your materials there. And it actually will expedite the process. You might be able to save yourself 3-4 months in the process in some cases. So how long does it take to sell a business? Well, it really depends on how dialed you are, because the negotiation process has to come in, attorneys come in, so you want to do everything that you can control the controllables to help the process move faster and quicker and get ahead of the game. Another very important piece to keep in mind of this whole process is the negotiation process, and that can go back and forth and back and forth. Most companies don't sell. Statistically, 70% of businesses that list never sell. So beyond due diligence, which is something we can control, you have all the negotiations and the terms, and that's typically where deals fall apart. People aren't meeting your expectation for what you want and what you value your company as. Maybe your partners aren't seeing eye to eye with you. Maybe the other person on the other end of the table, attorneys get involved. Again, the whole thing can fall apart. So the very, very beginning process of everything is just getting organized. So if you want to expedite the process, most certainly if you want to sell your business, just get prepared. Build your folders, work with professionals, get everything nice and tidy. Now I put together this information in a worksheet down below, a little checklist. So if you want access to that, just click the link and get information there. Please like, comment, subscribe, and let us know what other information that you want to hear about as it relates to getting prepared and organizing your business to scale and grow until the point that you're ready to exit. Because we want to make sure that you're getting maximum value and getting every dollar that you've earned through your life's work when you finally sell this business. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next video.